Time once again to follow along with me, Miss B. We are now in week 20 of quarter 3. We're going to be doing our second landscape, and that'll be the first part of this landscape. You will need paper and a pencil. You're also going to need a black marker and something to color with, whether that's colored pencils, crayons, markers, friends at home you can use paint, or oil pastels. What we want to focus on in this project is foreground, middle ground, and background. We're going to start with the line of our background, which is going to be a long, wavy line. And then we're going to move on to our foreground, which is going to be another wavy line, but much different from the first. Once you have drawn your background line and your foreground line, you're going to trace those in black. Now the space that's between the background line and the foreground line will be our middle ground. So foreground is what's closest to us, background is what's farthest from us, and middle ground is what falls in the middle. So we're going to start by making some trees in the background. So you do want to go back to pencil for this. Now this will be a two-dimensional picture, so we're not drawing forms in this project, but I am going to add a two-dimensional house here. Once I've completed this in pencil, I'm going to trace everything I've just drawn in black. So now we want to put our leaves on the trees. We're going to make those pretty big using our bumpy lines to complete that. I'm also going to go ahead here and put a tree coming out from the side or corner of the paper. We will not see the trunk of this tree, but it will be implied that the tree is there. Once that's drawn, I'm going to trace that in black. So next I'm going to be adding some lines to the middle ground, creating a texture that shows that it is different from the foreground and the background. Making sure that I trace in black when I'm finished with pencil. Now with the foreground, I want to make sure everything that is closest to me is the biggest. So I'm going to be drawing some rather large flowers to fill up the foreground space. Then once I'm finished drawing those, I will be tracing them in black as well. Now that I've completed my foreground, middle ground, and background, I'm going to add some texture to the trees. And I'm just going to do this by creating lines. Now, you can copy my lines, or you can create your own lines within the tree to give them their own texture. Don't forget when you're finished to trace with your black crayon or black marker. Lastly, I'm going to be adding a pattern to my background, and I'm going to add it to the sky just to give it a different texture and pattern than the trees that are in front of it. So this would be my farthest background. And I'm just going to hand draw in some circles, and then again trace those in black when I'm finished. So if you have time, you can add more pattern lines to the foreground. You can also add pattern lines to the flowers, trunks of the trees, the roof and the house, whatever you think it may need. I've kept mine pretty basic just so you guys can see what it would look like with just what we have here. So I am going to ask you to stop and submit now. Do not go any farther for the week. This is what you need to submit on Schoology, and that will be your grade. So if you have any questions, please email me, and have a nice day.